Hi everyone, this is Matt. I want to give you just a quick example of what I'm looking for on this CPTED signature assignment. You don't have to do it exactly like I've done here. And what I've done, of course, is me with all my experience and my knowledge and knowing exactly what I want. So I don't want you to think that this is the standard. I just want to give you an example of how I would do this. And these pictures, I didn't go out and take them in person. You are required to go out and take yours in person. I did not. I just pulled these off the internet just as an example for you. So this is just kind of my introduction page, or my first page, basically, to introduce the assignment. Little heading, CPTED Assessment of Maverick Convenience Store, located at Cloverdale Road, Lake Hazel Road, south of Boise, Idaho. Now, that's actually a location for a Maverick here near Boise. This is not a picture of that actual store, but I'm just using that as an example for you guys. So here's the introduction page. Right up here at the top, I've written why I chose this location. That's part of your assignment, and given some good reasons for that. It's a place I'm interested in. I drive by it all the time. I stop in there occasionally, and I think it offers some unique crime prevention issues. Then I go on to explain these issues. It's open 24 hours per day, so it offers different potential for crime. So during the day, you might expect more shoplifting type activity, maybe gas drive-off, something like that. During the night, maybe armed robbery. Its location is approximately 5 miles south of the city of Boise. So the Boise City Police Department does not patrol here. This is the responsibility of the Ada County Sheriff's Office. But from what we've learned in our policing class, and yes, I want you to incorporate your learning, we know that sheriff's deputies have a much larger geographic area to patrol than a city police officer because there's less people living in the rural areas. So that increases their response times. So this might make this location a more desirable target for a criminal because they know there's less chance that law enforcement is going to be nearby or be driving by. All right, now jumping into our first topics, and I'm sorry I've got that photo over the text a little bit. If you do that, you'll want to correct that. But first one is access control. Now, on this location, I really didn't find any major problems with access control. All the patrons are funneled through the front door. There's one way in and one way out. And those front doors open right to the cash register. So the clerks working in the store, they can see exactly who's coming, who's going, and there's cameras pointed at that as well. So I went ahead and put in here that I don't see a way in which access control can really be improved. If you do, I'd love to hear from you, but I don't see any major improvements they can do here with access control. There's only one way in and one way out. Now, for the rest of you, I don't want you at every location on every aspect of CPTED just go, I don't see any way to improve it. That will get you a very low score. You need to, if you find a location you think is perfect, then keep on driving and find a place that you don't think is perfect. All right, I want to see what your thoughts are on how to improve a place that needs improvement. Now, here on the natural surveillance slide, and you guys can use 2 slides to do this. I just did it on one to make it simpler to explain to you. But I put up 2 photos, one of the window to the left of the door, one of the window to the right. And you can see for natural surveillance that there are 2 issues here. And that is they've got stuff in front of the windows on both sides that can block the view of what's going on inside. It can block the view of the people inside looking out, but definitely it can block the view of people outside, whether that's law enforcement driving by or just civilians, people in their vehicles on foot or on a bicycle going by, can block their view of what's going on. And this, I didn't put all the problems with that up here, but I put a few of them. The biggest problem is for a would-be armed robber who's looking at this location and determining whether or not this is the location they might like to rob. When they see that passing motorists either cannot see inside or are going to have a very difficult time seeing inside, to them that makes it seem like this is a safer location for them to rob. The chance of them being caught in the act goes down. And so when you remember our rational choice theory, when we remember talking about the cost versus the benefit of committing a crime, this lowers the potential cost to the would-be criminal because their idea is, I don't know if I'll get caught doing this. So it lowers the potential cost. The reward remains the same, but with the cost lowered, the odds of them committing this crime go up. The other thing I didn't write here, and this is maybe a higher level CPTED discussion, is that for people out in the parking lot, Two things. One, a lot of people, and they'll just go on their gut with this, if they pull into a parking lot, if they're driving by and they can't really see into the store and see what's going on, they might just drive by and go on to the next place. And so if this place late at night or whatever it may be starts getting less and less traffic coming through, it makes it even a better target for would-be armed robbers to rob. The other potential problem here is the person who doesn't get that gut instinct or who ignores it or avoids it or whatever it may be, they might walk right in on an armed robbery in progress because they can't see inside, and then that compounds the problem, right? Now maybe you've got an additional crime going on. Maybe now you've got a shooting. Maybe now you've got something like that going on as this person walks in and surprises the robber. So those are a couple of the problems there. I made some suggestions, of course, clearing up that window on the left and then getting rid of this tent and this pile of firewood on the right. That's obstructing that window completely. And if the tent wasn't bad enough, they've got that banner hanging down, and so between the firewood and that banner, you just can't see in that window at all. All right, now next is territorial reinforcement. I went ahead and threw up a nighttime photo. You guys can obviously tell this is a different Maverick store, but that's because I cheated and pulled this off the internet. You cannot do that. Now, I put up here that this location has both public, semi-public, and private areas, but because this is a retail establishment and they're encouraging people to come in here and make quick stops, those lines get blurred. But certainly there is a line between the road and then that landscaping is the line and then the parking lot. And somebody who's hanging out or acting strangely, once they cross that boundary, they should expect to be confronted, be observed, be filmed, all of that. That should place kind of a mental barrier in the mind of the would-be person that's going to be crossing that boundary. Now, of course, once you get into the store or into the parking lot, then you're getting closer to the private areas. And once you get inside the store, anyone who's going to cross over that threshold and go back where the cashiers work, go through any doors marked private, back into the little kitchen area, obviously that's going to draw attention. And there's a clear boundary there between semi-private and private areas. I threw up a full-size photo here of it at night. This is something that you guys should do too with your nighttime photos, just to give the viewer, which is going to be me, a better view of what you're seeing and what you're observing, and then some comments on the next slide. And just basically what I noticed is there's ample lighting, so you can really see and make out people very well out in the parking area, in the gas pump area, and cameras, if they've got them, and I'm sure they do, they can get good video footage of these people even though it's after dark. And a bigger, more important piece to me, and I will go back really quick, is that the lighting, the way they've got it set up, it doesn't put off a glare that prevents you from seeing inside of the store. As a matter of fact, at nighttime, even with all these lights on and the great lighting they have in the parking lot, your visibility into the store is actually better than it is during the daytime. And so that's something that really jumped out to me too, to demonstrate the ability to see into that store as well as possible, minus those obstructions at nighttime when the odds of an armed robbery tend to go up, when the likelihood of those instances goes up. And you guys, that's it. That's really it. That's the whole signature assignment. I'm really curious to see what locations you've picked out, what you saw about them that you liked, what you didn't like, and what your suggestions for improvement are. And don't forget, if you find a location that you think is perfect, then move on and find a location that's not perfect. I want you to be the person who has learned about CPTED and can go in and fix this location, make it a safer location. Give me your conclusion on a final slide like this, and good luck. Looking forward to seeing your assignments.